Welcome friends to Literature Mantra. I am Harsh Singh. This is practice test 3 and in this video we will continue our discussion on 100 most expected questions for JNU's MA English Entrance Exam. So exam से पहले अगर आप अपने preparation को fine tune करना चाहते हैं then do watch this video. और अगर आपने अभी तक practice test 1 नहीं देखा तो उसे भी ज़रूर देखें. It will be helpful for your exam and the link of the first part is given below in the description. So let's begin.
नए अपडेट्स के लिए आप हमें फॉलो कर सकते हैं फेसबुक पर या इंस्टाग्राम पर या यूट्यूब पर और लिटरेचर मंत्रा के साथ जुड़ना ना भूलें, भारत का एकमात्र फ्री ऑनलाइन प्रिपरेशन प्लेटफॉर्म यूजीसी नेट के लिए और इंग्लिश लिटरेचर से जुड़े हुए सभी एग्जाम्स के लिए. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Which of the following statements is the most accurate regarding Edward Said's thesis in Orientalism? 1. The Europeans used the East dialectically to describe their self-image as irrational and primitive. 2. The Oriental people used the West dialectically to define their self-image as irrational and primitive. 3. The Europeans used the East oppositionally to define their self-image as rational and modern. 4. The Oriental people used the West oppositionally to define their self-image as rational and modern. Now यहाँ पे options दिए हुए हैं, so इसका तो बहुत simple सा है. The correct answer is option A, 3. The Europeans used the East oppositionally to define their self-image as rational and modern. Okay. Next question. Arrange in a chronological order. Now A is closet drama, epic theatre, theatre of the absurd, portable theatre. B. Epic theatre, portable theatre, theatre of the absurd, closet drama. Then C. Portable theatre, closet drama, epic theatre and theatre of the absurd. And D. Theatre of the absurd, portable theatre, closet drama and epic theatre. Now पहले तो ये इम्पॉर्टेंट है जानना कि क्लोजेट ड्रामा क्या होता है एंड पोर्टेबल थिएटर क्या होता है, बिकॉज आई एम श्योर आप लोगों को पता ही होगा एपिक थिएटर क्या होता है एंड थिएटर ऑफ द एब्सर्ड क्या होता है. बट व्हाट इज़ क्लोजेट ड्रामा? सी, क्लोजेट ड्रामा is basically for the purpose of reading it aloud, and it is non-performative in nature. So the primary purpose is to just read it aloud to a small audience. Just read it, not enact it, but read it. So this is the primary purpose of closet drama, and closet drama has been in use since the time of the Greeks. So this is the oldest one. Now what is portable theatre? See, portable theatre started in the early 1960s or 70s. और ये होता क्या है? Basically a group of artists or for example dramatists and those who enact the plays on theatre, a group of these people formed a company, and the purpose of this group was to just make aware the people of Britain about what is wrong in their contemporary world, in the world in which they live during the 1960s and 1970s. Okay, this was the primary reason why this portable theatre came up. And then theatre of the absurd. Now theatre of the absurd was a term or a phrase coined by Martin Esslin in his 1960 essay. Okay, and Martin Esslin coined this term to describe the plays of people like Samuel Beckett or Eugenie Ionesco. Okay, so just to describe their plays, Martin Esslin coined it. Now finally आते हैं epic theatre पे. So whenever we hear about epic theatre, the name of Bertolt Brecht comes to mind, right? But Bertolt Brecht wasn't the one who coined this term, and he wasn't the one who invented this idea. This idea of epic theatre was coined by Erwin Piscator in the early 1920s. And of course, the greatest practitioner of this epic theatre is Bertolt Brecht, right? And in German it's called Verfremdungseffekt. So now let's look at the question. Here the correct answer is A. Closet drama, then epic theatre, then theatre of the absurd, and then finally portable drama. और मैंने ये क्वेश्चन इसलिए सेलेक्ट किया है because all of these are important forms of drama. You should know about these. Next question is, the Bloomsbury group included British intellectuals, critics, writers and artists. Who among the following belonged to the Bloomsbury group? 1. John Maynard Keynes, Leighton Strasse. 2. E.M. Forster, Roger Fry, Clive Bell. 3. Patrick Brunty, Paul Haworth. 4th, Thomas Hardy, Henry James and Walter Pater. Now एक और इंटेलेक्चुअल का इसमें नाम नहीं दिया हुआ है, विच इज़ वर्जीनिया वुल्फ, द वेरी फेमस वर्जीनिया वुल्फ. शी वॉज ऑल्सो अ मेंबर ऑफ द ब्लूम्सबरी ग्रुप. नाउ इसमें से आंसर है फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड, जो कि कीन्स, Strachey, E.M. Forster, Roger Fry and Clive Bell. So A is the answer, 1 and 2. And जो rest हैं, the rest, they were not a part of the Bloomsbury group. Okay. Next question. In practical criticism, I.A. Richards links 4 kinds of meanings in most human utterances to 4 aspects. These are A. Sense, feeling, tone, intention. B. Sound, feeling, nuance, intention. C. Sense, voice, emotion, intention. And D. Sense, image, tone, intention. Now ये बहुत ही simple सा question है, and the correct answer is A. Sense, feeling, tone and intention. This is what I.A. Richards mentions in his book, The Practical Criticism. So there are just 4 kinds of meanings according to I.A. Richards: sense, feeling, tone and intention. Next question is, which of the following is not correct? A. Chaucer used the rhyme royal, a stanzaic form in some of his major works, in some of his major poems. B. Chaucer was the author of the Legend of Good Women. C. Chaucer wrote in English when the court poetry of his day was written in Anglo-Norman and Latin. D. Chaucer wrote the book named The Governor. Now the correct answer is the Book of the Governor, because this is not something that Geoffrey Chaucer wrote. This was written by Thomas Eliot. Okay, not T.S. Eliot, Thomas Eliot, and this was published in 1531. और ये जो बाकी options हैं, Chaucer used the rhyme royal, and then he is the author of the Legend of Good Women, and then Chaucer wrote in English when the court poetry of his day was written in Anglo. These are correct. Okay. And see, I have chosen this question because I wanted to give you some information about Chaucer. So Chaucer, कुछ important writers तो आप पढ़ के ही जाना ढंग से. For example, Chaucer, Shakespeare, T.S. Eliot, John Donne, these important writers. ये सब तो इतने important हैं, इन सब पे तो question हमेशा ही रहता है कुछ ना कुछ. So इन सब writers को आप ढंग से पढ़ लेना एक बार. Now we have a passage and some questions which follow this passage. Okay, so you can read this passage. I'll just tell you the answers. Now question is, the passage distinguishes between, now इसका आंसर है D, general satire intended to reform and personal attack intended to injure. उसके बाद next question, according to the passage, the dean was specially motivated to, इसका आंसर है A, deflate the pretentious. See, ये passage बहुत straight forward है, so I don't think ऐसा कुछ डिटेल में डिस्कस करने की ज़रूरत है इसको. So let's move on. Next question is, what is a mock heroic poem? Very simple. आपने The Rape of the Lock पढ़ा ही होगा और काफ़ी सारे mock heroic poems पढ़े ही होंगे. So let's check the options. A. It mocks at the heroic pretensions in poets and critics. B. Mocks heroism, an exaggerated virtue in all epics. C. Uses a heroic style to deride airs and affectations. D. Uses a mocking style to deride heroes and hero worship. See, अगर आपको अलेक्जेंडर पोप का द रेप ऑफ द लॉक याद होगा तो उससे आप एकदम से मार्क कर सकते हो कि क्या आंसर, करेक्ट आंसर क्या है. करेक्ट आंसर इज C. It uses a heroic style to deride airs and affectations. So this is the correct answer. Now we have a poem and some questions following that poem. You can read this poem. मैं पढ़ूंगा नहीं इस poem को, but I'll just give you the answers. ठीक है. So first question है इसका, is a convenient grass an example of transferred epithet? इसका आंसर है B. Yes, it is. The grass is not convenient but is transferred from the bird who finds the grass convenient of access. Then next question is, which of the following is not an example of kinetic imagery? इसका आंसर है C. Velvet head. Okay. Then next question, like one in danger. Now this was within quotes. Okay. Like one in danger. Who is in danger? Now इसका आंसर है A. The bird. The bird is in danger. The bird feels as if it is in danger. Next question. In a 1817 review of Coleridge's Biographia Literaria, Francis Jeffrey coined the term Lake School of Poets, grouping A. Wordsworth, Coleridge and Crabbe. B. Wordsworth, Coleridge and Byron. C. Wordsworth, Coleridge and Hazlitt. D. Wordsworth, Coleridge and Southey. Now this is a very straightforward question. इसका आंसर है D. Wordsworth, Coleridge and Southey. Next question. He is not the brightest man in the world is an example of A chiasmus, B hyperbole, C litotes and D simile. इसका करेक्ट आंसर है C litotes. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, सेलेक्ट द मैचिंग पेयर. नाउ दो कॉलम्स दिए हुए हैं और यहाँ पे आपको सेलेक्ट करना है करेक्ट जो है. सो देर आर 3 ऑप्शंस विच आर रॉन्ग एंड देर इज ओनली 1 ऑप्शन विच इज़ करेक्ट. So first option is A carnivolisque, B Stanley fish aphasia, C Gemslev glossymatix, D Roland Barthes affective stylistics. So अगर इसमें देखें तो सिर्फ एक ही ऑप्शन इसमें सही है, C Gemslev glossymatix. अदरवाइज बाकी जो हैं गलत है. ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट डज फिलिप सिडनी कॉल पोएट हेटर्स in his defense of poesy. Now you must have read Sidney's defense of poesy, so you should know this. This is pretty simple. But let's first check the options. First option, misogynists. Second, misanthropes. Third, misnomers. Fourth, my so moi soy. Now in his work, as you all know, Philip Sidney defends poetry, and the word which he uses to describe those who hate poets or poet haters is miso moi soy. So the correct answer is D, miso moi soy. Now we have a poem, and the title of the poem is Remembered Village. So you can read this poem, but I'll just tell you the answers. Now for this question, as stated, who often wets feet in the river? The correct answer is house. A, house. Then next question, bells curl their lips at the priest's rustic Sanskrit is an example of. Now इसका example है 3 personification और C part personification. Then next question, the words no trains are ever missed in their context mean that. इसका again answer है C, the remote village is not a stop for trains, so no train is ever missed. Next question, the immediate source of Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus is A French narrative, B a Dutch narrative, C a German narrative, D none of the above. See, ये तो बहुत ही सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. अगर आपने डॉक्टर फॉस्टस पढ़ा है तो आपको पता ही होगा. इट इज़ फ्रॉम अ जर्मन नैरेटिव. ओके, सो द करेक्ट आंसर इज C a German narrative. एंड वन मोर थिंग, ये जो लेजेंड है, जर्मन लेजेंड है फॉस्ट के बारे में, फ्रॉम दैट लेजेंड कम्स द एडजेक्टिव फॉस्टियन. सो आपने पढ़ा होगा ये एडजेक्टिव दैट समबडी इज़ फॉस्टियन और समबडीज एम्बिशन इज़ फॉस्टियन. और इस एडजेक्टिव का मतलब ये है कि व्हेन समबडी सरेंडर्स हिज moral integrity for great ambition, if he is ambitious and to achieve his ambitions he compromises his moral integrity or principles, then that is what Faustian means. और वो Faustian जो है इसी legend से आया, German legend से ही आया है. Okay, next question, which is common to the following poems? Wordsworth's The Recluse, Shelley's The Triumph of Life, Byron's Don Juan or Don Juan, whatever the pronunciation is, then Keats's Hyperion. और उसके बाद options हैं A they are all elegies, B they are all unfinished poems, C they are all divided into cantos, D they are women-centered poems. So the correct answer is B, they are all unfinished poems. Okay, so all of these poems, Wordsworth ka, Shelley and Byron, Keats's, all of these poems are unfinished. Okay, with this I conclude this video, and don't forget to see the next part. It will help you in your MA entrance exam. और next part का link नीचे दिया हुआ है description में. Okay.